We now call to order. May we please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda? Before we do that, I would like to move, public comments to the top of old business.
I move we approve the agenda moving public comment to the top.
Is there anything else?
Yes, I'd like discussion on the Board of Elections meeting timeline. It's posted on our website.
Is that, are you doing a general legislative affairs?
That's what you're.
I'm asking on this.
I can technically it's old business, so, I mean, but
It is technically good.
it's old business, because it's been on the website.
So we've already, okay. So the website, what is it that you want to add? So,
Board of Elections timeline,
Board of Elections, what?
meeting timeline.
Is
Meeting
that-
time?
is it something that's advertised?
Yes,
Board of
it's on the website. Yeah, she has all our meetings, different functions.
Okay,
Where do we put it as
put it on the invitation. Is there anything else? Okay. May I have a motion to, approve the agenda with the addition of public comments to the top and board of election timelines at the bottom of old business.
So move.
Second.
It's been properly and second that we approve the agenda with the necessary additions and corrections. You heard the motion, are you ready for the question? All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. Motion carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes unless there are some corrections that need to be stated? I think you all had time to make those corrections prior to the meeting. Mr.
I
Ashman.
know the one little, I guess it was just,
Let me,
they asked,
excuse me, Mr. Ashman.
Yes, sir.
Since we know that the fees are not working, do you have access to see if you can hear what we are being going through on the,
I know it's not going to do.
okay,
I'll double check that.
thank you. I just want to make sure the public can hear what we're saying.
I don't have one, so I said, I allow votes.
Well, none of our words, they're just up here for
Yeah.
decorations. What, you said?
Yeah, I said just one little consistency, I think, I don't know, I said move and someone put motion, but it's always that person moved, so under the second page, I never watched it, but move to have it flat, but not motion.
Okay. Move that one.
Move to have it flat, right, when we said, when you asked for the motion, persons moved the motion, not motion the motion. And I think I had moved the motion.
You just want to change motion to move.
Yeah, it's moved, yes.
Change number Watsonburg.
On the second page.
So, move, the still motion.
On the second motion.
Third paragraph.
Yeah.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes with the necessary correction?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the minutes with the necessary correction.
Been properly moved that we accept the minutes with the necessary corrections. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor, let me know by raising your hand. Motion carried.
There's one person. No, you're gonna sign it. It's just so you know it, so it's different. I don't want to. She said it was one person. This one person has to do it. So
But,
until it's so-
it's always, they said blue ink, so.
And
Yeah,
I'll be
so,
back, I apologize.
so,
It's just a little one. No, no way.
I tell you, I can't drop it again.
you gonna make that correction? Okay. Right. It was on the third page, and the second page anyway. Okay. Public comments. Do we have anyone that would like to speak to public comments today? Okay.
None of y'all signed the second sheet. Is that me?
Send it back to me.
Say what?
No one signed the second sheet. Is that me? Engineer.
Shit.
No, sir.
I need to sign county road.
Yeah, I'll get it for you. I'll get you an Eddie.
Thank you for that.
When it's closed session minutes.
Oh, okay. May I have a motion to approve the closed session minutes?
So moved. Second.
The property moved second that we approve the closed session minutes. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. All right, motion carried.
That was added once ago.
Well,
You moved it.
Wait a minute. That's all we gave, was just, okay. Now, where that blue ink came from?
You like sign it.
Inside.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Well, we thank you all for coming, today to our meeting, this morning. So moving forward, budget. Do you have any information about the budget this morning?
The budget is what was approved.
Okay, the
So,
budget was voted on and approved by the county commissioners. Okay,
this is the new budget.
okay,
All the empty spaces that were empty, when we submitted, the county voted in. So the total was at the bottom.
at the bottom, and it was approved for this amount,
Yes.
right? Any discussion on the budget?
They ask you any questions on the 19th?
We were not,
You didn't have to go?
we didn't,
No.
they didn't ask us to come this
They didn't
time.
ask me to come.
I was just wondering, I feel like we did a disservice to our judges by not paying them the same as the poll workers.
Say what?
I feel like we've done a disservice to the honorary position of judges by not paying, them the same as the poll workers, being that the judges do have to, officiate a challenge in the case of a challenge with the chief judge, and when that they have to participate in making sure that a ballot that leaves and goes to curbside is,
Ms. Wassenberg,
is,
we have approved this budget,
um,
and, we did the same thing that we've always done. The chief judges always get more than anyone else, and we did it based on that. Sometimes the poll workers might have to come in and be a witness for a challenge that's going on, especially if they do an incident report. We don't pay them, according to who does the most and all that. It's position wise down. And so I think that we did a very good job of discussing at the last meeting why we wanted to give them a raise. And I'm just thankful that the county commissioner saw fit to approve what we asked. Because I mean,
I'm not unthankful for that. I was just saying, I don't want people to not apply to be a judge because they're getting paid the same as a poll worker.
Okay, so, for example, this past election, could you tell me what a judge did differently than anybody else?
Well, they all had to stand at the ballot box, I do know that, and make sure that the ballot that went to curbside was done proper in order to go into the ballot box.
That's part of being a poll worker. See,
that's the job
the
of a
thing
poll worker.
is, before they changed the law, any poll worker could do it. Then they changed it and want a judge to stand there at the bottom.
I think we wanted that. I don't think.
No, a judge has to put the ballot in.
A judge has,
Or a chief judge.
Yeah.
chief judge.
Right, so they have to put it in. I think we're getting too technical, trying to appease everybody. We gave everyone a raise. Thank you.
And a
That'd be
lot.
great. But, and so, in other smaller counties, I can only compare to the county that I came from, everybody makes the same amount of money. There's no difference. Because everybody is doing a job, everybody is standing, everybody is walking back and forth. You can't tell me that somebody standing at the ballot box is more important than the curbside person that does a lot of walking back and forth.
Not necessarily that because they're standing at the ballot box, that was not my point. Being, when we appoint chief judges and judges, we appoint them at a different time than we appoint poll workers. And a judge does have to, if the chief judge resigns, like on, or doesn't show up the day of, the judge has to go in there and be, that's who we would go to next to be the chief judge.
So then they get their pay.
So we'll come to that. Yes.
Yeah, their pay changes if they become a chief judge.
Okay.
You know, the issue was, let's say we have, John Doe, you know, Monday, he's a curbside worker. Tuesday, he's a judge. Wednesday, he's a chief judge. Maybe Thursday, he's a chief judge. Then he goes back down to a judge. So every single day, it's a different pay. Versus if everybody makes the same, it's easier to manage because people forget to do their time.
Right, but the chief judge and judges are appointed, right? Correct. So they are appointed, but you can't switch them back and forth, like they have to be appointed to do that, to be a judge or a chief judge. So, the only time you can do that is a board meeting.
My 2 cents. I wish we could have tabled it till we had research. I talked to assistant judges, and what she brought out, they verified ballots. Other poll workers don't do that. They verified the count of the votes. Other poll workers don't do that.
What do you mean by that?
They verified closing counts. They put machines on election day.
They closed down the machine.
They closed it down. Assistant judges help set up the equipment for the opening.
A lot of
Yeah.
Talking about for election,
The chief
Are
judge
you
don't
talking-
use them.
They signed that paper, is what he's talking about. The yellow sheet that goes.
Right.
Let me say this, the only comments I got from everybody was that they were thankful that we saw fit to give them a raise. They were not, I think we're reading more into it than
right,
what they.
because what I saw in the general election, not most of the time, but a lot of the time, it was the regular poll workers working very hard. Because we have judges stationary. Doing a specific thing, and then other people are working 10 times harder. It's just fair across the board. I think we're reading too much into it to try to appease individuals. If you want to be a chief judge, thank you. If you want to be a regular judge, thank you. That will help the process. But no one person's job is better than the other person. We're all trying to come up with a great election. I make it fair to everybody.
Right, I wasn't trying to say that one person's job is more important than the other person's job. Apparently, obviously, they're all important to the success of the election, 100%. And that's why I did vote for increase in the pay, because I feel like they were not getting compensated as much as what they work. I agree with you on that. They all work very, very hard. I was just, and maybe I am being a bit technical, but I was just trying to make sure
After the fact.
we dotted every I and crossed every T.
Well, and I think we did the due diligence as far as making sure we have in the budget for contracted services. That's what they would be paid out of, right?
Contract service.
$168,000, and,
All right.
yes,
I just didn't know if there was wiggle room. I wasn't saying let's go back and ask for more money. I just didn't know if there was wiggle room to move things around. To give the judges maybe $1 more an hour. That was all I was looking at. So.
I don't know based off what is to be expected of how many people we're going to hire. But that just goes back to what we originally had. We had three different, we had three different things that we were giving out. When you are doing payroll and people don't fill out their time like they're supposed to, it's very hard trying to go through stuff, trying to see what they worked, what they did when they worked, versus if everybody across the board makes the same amount of money, then you know what it's just the chief judge is getting something different.
and I think that discussion was, brought up, at that last meeting. And, I don't want to say it wrong, but I think you were the one that wanted to make sure that everyone had the same.
Right, yeah, no, I mean, that's what she had suggested, and so I was
Okay,
interested
so-
in that, but I was just revisiting it. I was interested in helping out our director and our staff with that,
Right.
so, but at the same time, I mean, it is a practice that our office, I guess, has been doing for a long time, so it's not impossible to do. So that's what I was just thinking about that, but, I mean, the consensus isn't there to do it, it's not there to do it, that's just the way it is.
I would just say, we had Devon from the county come up with this. We discussed all of this. And as a board member, I defer to the staff. They're the ones that run this office, and I don't think we can be second judging them.
No. Okay. That's fine.
And, was it, in the contracted services, can you tell me poll workers and who else is paid out of this?
Just for.
Just poll work. Is there any other thing in here that I know, I just want to make sure we go on record as the cleaning service is no longer a part of this contract service?
No.
Because they were not included this time?
No.
Okay, thank you. We don't, so just for you all's information, we don't have cleaning services that will be used because of the, COVID thing.
Right.
So they're gonna utilize that service with, may I make a recommendation? That you all utilize that service with poll workers, add another poll worker there to make sure cleaning takes place every day and night so that, widen down things. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we
Just,
use the poll workers
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but let it be a poll
and
worker.
us.
Right. Well, I mean, because we still want to make sure things are safe. Do you all understand that?
I understand. Because even though we don't have COVID, we
It's
still
all-
have germs.
Right, James, right. Yeah. Yes.
Professional contract service.
Well, I guess it's still
I
happening.
know she's contracted, Print Select, to get rid of Harley Marks, any, next, this upcoming budget year. Do you foresee other contract services, like a Print Select or somebody?
Well, we constantly use Pronalect.
So is that under this section, or?
No, I want to say they put it in rent equipment.
And I thought we asked that you utilize Print Elect for elections, and didn't we say something about
I mean,
that?
well, we use Pronalect.
Yeah.
This is the company that does our ballots, so you're gonna see Pronalect a lot on our, for our monthly statements and stuff like that. Pronalect, ESNS does our system equipment for elections.
Okay.
Like the computer that we just purchased is ESNS. Pronalect will come and do, training whenever they schedule that.
If you fall under maintenance, you think, maintenance equipment?
Whatever category they already have it in.
Okay.
So, they separate stuff differently, like ballots is strictly for ballots because the total sometimes is high. But I wanna say it goes in rent equipment and office equipment.
But what you're telling us, it is budgeted, it's in the budget.
Yes, like I did send an email to Pronalect to ask them how much it would cost for LNA testing. I haven't received the email back.
For what? Yeah.
LNA testing.
Right, because that's what I thought we said in the last meeting also, that we wanted to make sure they did the elevate.
I'm still waiting on the email back.
Okay. All right.
And so I did mention that to the finance department to let them know that that was not included in the budget that we submitted. And she said that, we'll probably have enough to cover that. Because I have put that in the capital outlay, just in case.
Right, okay.
But, I'm still waiting on how much it costs for LNA testing.
So it's on the capital outlay. All right.
Well, it's no capital outlay, because,
I see.
the board approved, the commissioners approved our laptops. So we went ahead and ordered them. And so the extra money for supplies and all of that,
But that's
I'm
out of
getting-
it, that's out of the, this, budget that runs out June 30th.
yeah, so right.
Yeah.
But the finance department said that we should have enough if we need to do LME testing.
Okay,
So, the capital outlays that I had requested for 45,000 for the next budget, they moved it to this budget because they say we're gonna have, the funds are different. So they, amended the budget, so they went ahead and ordered the laptops. There were a few signs and stuff like that I wanted to get just to make sure we had enough. So I'm doing that now.
before June 30th.
Well, no, they gave us, it's June 13th. So I'm trying to order everything that I can that I think we're going to need, the crowd control, poll, all of that.
But it's out of the budget that ends on June 30th.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I was saying.
And so we ordered 40 laptops.
Wonderful.
I have a question about the laptops. Are, and it might be going into this, obviously not budget, but, are they, I remember a discussion on how early voting, the laptops, I guess, talk to each other. But on election day,
They don't.
they don't. So will that change with the new laptops?
No, it's a system that we
It's the
use
system. Okay.
that doesn't allow the computers to talk to one another.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I just know that during early voting, they talk to one another based off the system, but election day is a different system.
Mhm.
But the state is looking into that, because they might want to change that.
And, that's the tech people that will make sure that that's done.
So when the laptops come in, they have to do the update the software and make sure they put the same program on laptops and all of that, when they come in.
Right.
Is that, and that's current elected that will do that?
No, our IT department will do that.
For the county?
Mhm. So, Pasquotank is different, special, but in other counties, IT is more involved.
But, IT has become more involved.
They have, that's what their life
with
savings,
the elections.
that's what they,
Yes.
that's what they do for them.
Right. We have utilized IT in this last election that we've never had. So, and I think moving forward that, that needs to be a part of what happens. Okay, anything else on budget? Invitation.
Invitation, so thus far, we've only had 50 people to respond back. We did do a few calls, we just did a few, I'll probably do some more later. We sent out interest letters,
How many,
140,
how many people worked during the last election?
140.
Okay, so everybody received.
I don't know if they received
I mean,
it.
but you sent one out to everyone that.
Yes, I
worked the
did.
election. Okay.
So I sent out 140 invitations. A couple days later, I sent out 140 interest letters. I did send some through email for the ones that I had on record, so I sent it through email and I sent them a paper copy.
Okay.
On the invitation, I put to the bottom, because I know the postal service is a little different, that if they know of someone that didn't get the invitation and they work, tell them to call the office or RSVP. Because tomorrow is the deadline. That's, so whatever ordering they have to do will be tomorrow.
Can you explain what this is to the audience?
Oh, yeah, so this is an invitation. Some of you got an invitation, looks different than this, because it's a little bit more personal. But the public and the poll workers got this invitation. And so, on the back, it's just going into detail, do not bring guests, because we're only paying for a certain number of plates.
So I can't bring 5 more people.
No. So, and it's just to avoid that, we have had someone to call, to say that they had to bring somebody. That's an exception. They understand that that particular individual cannot eat food. They can eat off their plates. We're only paying for the poll workers and the people we invited to
Can
come.
you explain who else is invited?
Yes.
Letter.
So, the county commissioners are invited because they are the people that approve our budget. The city manager is invited because of the upcoming election. They reimburse us for that, election. So he is invited. The Democrat and the Republican Party chairs are invited. They can bring a +1. And who else? I think that's it.
The board members invited?
Yeah, the board members will be there. I have invited the IT department, which is just the 2 people that come here to, help us out with elections. The maintenance crew that helped us move all the equipment, they were invited as well. Because I really want to thank everybody that participated in this because I was new and a lot of them stepped up to the plate. They over exceeded, as far as giving my olive branch to help.
And especially that cleaning crew.
Yes,
So were they invited?
I need to call
Okay.
Our former board members that were involved in the election invited.
Just as fast
This
as
past
election.
election. Larry, you been invited.
Right, Larry, that's.
Yeah, Larry, yes.
them. Yes, Larry can come.
Okay, I'll let him know.
When you said former board members, it's a lot of former board members that,
Who else we have for 2024?
Deborah,
What you said,
That's usually four.
so,
Deborah was in 24 as well.
but not for the election that she did. Not for the next.
Okay.
And so the reason why I invited the commissioners, as well as the city manager and the party chairs, I want them to meet the people that make this a success. I think it's important that everybody know the people that's helping to run the show.
And
I
this
think
is
it's
a
important.
first. This is a first.
I just think it's good that both parties can see the people that they nominate to work for elections. And most of the time you don't know these people, so this is a good time to get to meet people. I don't know what has happened in the past, but
Yeah, it's not because it couldn't happen, it was just something that, they just didn't do. But I think it's a good idea that we, show appreciation to those that have worked hard to make sure we had a fair election.
of course, at 11:15, we'll have the county manager just to say a few words, Ms. Brown and myself, we try to limit, everybody from talking. Because I just wanted to be short. It's from 11 to 1, so you don't have to stay. I put 11:15, so if you wanted to hear someone, you could, you know what time we're starting. It's a informal lunch, so you can come in, get your food and leave if that's what you want to do.
Is this overflow seating board, so that's in here?
Yes,
Is that just like for people to hang out?
if that's what they want to do.
It's gonna be red.
No, it's gonna be over there in the Red Cross. But if there isn't enough seating or space, then you come over here and sit.
Oh, yeah. You got a door right here that open up to it, so.
Are you guys gonna have to move all this stuff? Or are you just gonna have them sit?
Yes, during the election, I had to move all the stuff every day by myself.
So you're gonna have to do that for this as well?
More than likely. It won't be, anything major,
Okay.
but there will be seating, maybe not tables, but there'll be seating.
You're setting up, you guys are you.
It's already
staff is
set,
setting up
it's
all-
already set,
Okay.
it's already set.
Y'all on top of it.
So, Dwayne and myself have, cleaned out most of the rooms, or organized most of the rooms. We have like one more room to do, two more rooms to do.
Who's that?
No, it's cold, what is it, the stands where people vote on,
Oh,
older ones, it's older ones. So we have, went through the rooms, organized it as best as we can, thrown some stuff away that wasn't needed. Just so that when the renovation process starts, it's just, we can see what we have. It's just so we know what we have.
So George, that, you can't get in that room.
Yeah.
You can't get in that room if something breaks off. You can't get in there, it's packed. It's
No,
not-
they clean.
Let's keep it to
It
that.
ain't that, they're not that anymore, like you can see in the room. No,
Getting back to the luncheon, do you need help cleaning up?
oh, no,
Okay.
Cause when I say cleaning, that's years of stuff.
No, I'm talking about
Oh.
the luncheon, after the luncheon is over, do you need assistance in cleaning up from the function?
I don't think so. I mean, but if people wanna help, they're more than welcome, but I don't think so.
Okay. Just making sure.
All right, let's see. Okay, so originally, it was the old board members could come to the meeting on July first, right? The new appointed board will start on the 25th. When I sent the email out originally, it was the old board could still come to the July 1st meeting. That was what they originally told me. All right, as of Friday, that changed. So it says, current board members' terms end upon the appointment of the new board members per SB 382, that's the new bill that passed. However, the requirement for the new board to be sworn in July 22nd is still in law, and the board cannot act before being sworn in. Accordingly, there will be a gap in time when there is no county board between June 25th and July 22nd. If there is any business that must be taken care of by your board before July 22nd, be sure that your current board plans to meet and conduct that business before June 24th. That's what they sent on Friday.
So, technically, our term is not up until June 24th.
Yes.
And if anything happens between now and then, we will have to come back and session. To do it before the 24th. Before
No.
the 24th.
Yeah.
Before the
Is it-
24th. You just said-
Before 24th. Or by the 24th.
And we're praying that nothing happens.
Well, it's not an election going on, so we should be fine.
Oh, yeah, I know. And the law changes every day, so hey, who knows?
Yeah. I think when they did 382, I don't think they took into consideration when the new people was sworn in.
Any other general
No,
elections?
we skipped over the 21.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did.
you just skip over.
Oh, what?
We went into new business.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't, no, I did believe.
The
Did I?
timeline.
Okay, all right, board election timeline, I'm sorry, we'll go back to
You
that.
can't answer this one.
She answered.
But no, Janine, question. Okay. I didn't see the swearing in of the new board members on the timeline. Where is that gonna take place at? Here at the courthouse?
So we have updated the webpage. And it covers it, it just says special meeting,
Oh, special meeting.
Yeah, that's the.
July 22nd.
July 22nd,
July 22nd
that's when you will be sworn in.
at 12 p.m.
Whoever they put on the new board will be sworn in on July 22nd.
Right.
And it's on the
Here
website.
or courthouse, that's right.
There
You
you
know,
go,
here.
always here.
Always it's new.
So, July 22nd, it's listed as a special meeting at 12 p.m.
And another thing that you've already answered, I was going to bring up that LMA testing. Once they're appointed,
Was that part of the timeline?
Well, LMA testing is up there, but there is no actual date, and for the time it has TBA. All of that was updated. I just updated all of that.
Just update, okay.
I didn't put a definitive date because I don't know. More than likely, it will be in August along with the training. We're trying to come up with a week already of when training will be.
Okay. And of course, the new members will go to the conference in the room.
Yeah, so I have already asked the board chairs to reach out to the people they put on the list to make them aware that there's a conference between July 27th to July 29th, so that they can be in preparation to know that once they get sworn in, there's a conference to go to. So,
You guys, who?
the party chairs, to reach out to the people that's on the list to make them aware. So, and I just sent that out, so it's not like they were gonna call when I sent it out, but they are aware. I've asked them to reach out to the people they put on the list to make them aware that there's a conference that they would like all new board members to go to within the first 6 months they're sworn in. If they can't make it to that one, that is fine. There will be another one the following year. They just want the board members to attend one within the 2 years that they're on board.
Before a general election. They have to go to one before a general election. That was,
And they change
yeah,
it.
they changed it too.
Well, they're in the process of changing it
Oh.
to virtual, to a virtual conference now.
Really? Awesome.
We'll see, next year.
It's cheaper that way.
Is
Huh?
It's cheaper that way, huh?
Well,
Virtual conference.
it
Well, I
saves
expect
money
that.
too. Saves money.
God, ain't like
Yeah. But it saves money. Any other board timeline information?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Go back to new business.
New business, general legislative updates, if you, any, other than what you just read about.
No, you know, the new executive director, they are going to Florida to, I guess, talk to somebody to find out about elections over there to see how they do things. And then find out what that looks like.
Florida is the beacon light for the country as far as elections are concerned. I don't understand, but hey,
So we are waiting to see what that will, so I'm sure, maybe not this election, but the next election, I'm sure there'll be some changes.
So, can you talk about, the federal lawsuit, the HAVA?
I don't know much about that. I know just as much as you all do based off the news.
Okay.
So when the state gives, I guess, me more instruction.
have you got any information about what she's asking? Have you got anything? So, general legislative update is based on what comes from the state,
Right.
or down to her. That's what she's giving us, not something that you see on the news.
But that's what I was asking for the state,
No, that's what she said, no.
give her any information on HAVA.
No. They got election stuff up here. It just says we are continuing to work on the process to address voter registrations that are missing Harvard ID information.
That's all I told me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
until they make a decision yet.
There hasn't been a court order or anything like that. It's just a vote at this point.
But we don't discuss it unless it comes from the state now. You know, I don't know where you get your information from, you know, but we asked for general legislative updates, and we want it to come from what the state said down there to report out to the county board members and then to the public. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering if they said anything about that.
All right.
It just finds.
Well, okay.
I did stop by the post office to ask them if we were having, if, there was an issue with our mail being delivered. They said no, nothing was left behind. That's all I can go based off of. I mean, we went to Northeastern High School on Friday to do a registration drive. We were asked to come there. We only had 24 seniors, and most of them didn't have ID, didn't have driver's license, or did they know their social security number. But we did register 24.
Was it, who invited, I mean, was it an organization that invited you to come, or was it the school system?
That's what it was.
I was concerned about the post office, you know how we usually check to see if things have come in by a certain time? Now they're so concerned about the homeless people that they lock the doors at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Suppose you can't get into your box after 6? I feel sorry for business people that can't go until they're after dinner.
Normally on election day, somebody come brings us whatever mail came in after hours.
But I'll make sure to check with them because they have changed things up.
Mm.
And they're the only post office that's still there,
Um,
locking the doors. Hey, you said you registered 20 more students, and those ones that didn't have all the information they needed? Or are you saying that
then
none of them had? So what do you do? when
you just send them a letter. There's nothing you can do. You send them a letter, let them know that their registration application, is missing a few things. And if they aren't 18, they will be put in another queue anyway. So there's nothing we can do with them until they're 18.
And it's their responsibility to contact you back?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You send the letter,
You
if
just,
they're 18 and over.
you just send it once, or that's it? And then
Once you send it once.
Okay.
What we're discussing.
If we did 3-4 times, we'd be spending a whole lot more money in postage.
We're discussing, she said they had registered 24 students at Northeastern High School, but they didn't have all the required information of the registration.
That's other legislative updates there.
Mhm. I mean, well,
Well, it's general.
General, yeah.
Under general updates, when it comes to candidate filing, you said, you told George you updated the website. I haven't looked. Is that all the candidate filing information, filing fees, guide, all that stuff?
all of that will be posted closer to candidate filing.
Okay.
But when you put stuff out too early, it causes even more chaos
Okay.
in Pasquotank. The wonderful Pasquotank, where we, abundantly go over and beyond to do things. But no, it's not time. We can wait until we get closer to candidate filing.
Okay. I was just checking because our term ends 24th and candidate filing is in July, so I guess we're not,
No,
nobody's there.
because the board really doesn't have a part to doing that.
Okay.
That's just awful stuff.
All right, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the board doesn't have to help with that process.
I would like to make a comment on that. The board is not here to micromanage our staff, and the staff is responsible for the day-to-day operations of this office. So I put my trust in the staff. Thank you.
They all get their do's and don'ts.
Yes.
I know this is the, last minute, and I guess that speaks to it in here that we don't micromanage the office. We want to operate within the guidelines of the state. They report out to us as much as possible. We also ask that, under general legislative updates, that's information that the director provides to the board. Am I correct on that?
That's right.
And not us providing information to the director.
I didn't what you said.
I said general legislative update from the time that I've been on the board. It's information that we receive from the director, that she's received from the state, from the county. It's not something that we report to her. It's, not unless we call her a day in advance to make sure she knows, but it's not information that we report out. It's information she gives us. That's why we have it over there, general legislative updates. Is there anything else?
I had a question.
Yes.
I know we can't like on social media, we can't like a political candidate. Let's say Joe Blow or so-so. But I'm a friend of Judge Williams. After he's elected, and I like stuff that he posts.
No,
No,
Not as
after he's elected. No, he's a candidate.
He's not a candidate anymore.
You're still showing partiality.
Right.
You're supposed to represent everyone in this county,
it doesn't
Not
matter your
just-
party.
what party they're from or a friend or whatever's going on.
Just go to all his functions. When you take a picture, just keep it in your phone, don't post it. I mean, because you all on the board, it doesn't matter that you go to your conventions, that part doesn't matter. But you still wanna keep in mind, because the public can use it against you and say that you aren't being for the
Yes,
people.
no.
Yeah.
And please notice, people have been put off the board, not from, the regular, us report, it's people from the county, that, send in reports on things that's been done by board members that can cause you to be put off the board.
That's state.
That's state, right? So, and we've known that to happen. Thank God it hadn't happened in the last 8 years that I've been on board, but, it happens. So, and with the way the things are going now in this country, people are paying more and more attention to everything that you do and say.
So, if Joe goes out and his daughter gets married, I can't make a comment about marriage.
You can
Yeah,
go to
that-
the wedding.
I mean, because that's not politics.
That's what I'm saying. It's not-
I mean, if it's personal, that's something different. But if it's politics, you might want to keep that to a minimum.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a recommendation. Now, people can do whatever they want to do now, but there are consequences that come along with doing whatever you want to do now. I mean, because, the public is, critical of, us people that deal with elections, so.
That's true.
Is this our last meeting with this board, last call?
Are you all coming in, for the new appointment or the sworn in? Is there a meeting? I'm asking because I don't know.
So what?
When, for y'all last meeting, for the 24th, will you all be here?
The 24th.
25th is when the new board gets appointed. Oh, and the new board gets sworn in on the 22nd. Do you all come back?
No,
Oh, okay,
it's the new board on board.
okay.
So if this is our last meeting, may I have a point of personal privilege?
If I may have one also.
Transfer. First of all, I'd like to thank Jackie. She's done a great job with this board for 8 years through COVID, through the federal elections, through having our director and our deputy director quit right before a big election. I want to thank you for all your hard work, and I want to thank Addie also. As a secretary, it's a terrible job. It's a hard job. I've done both your jobs, and I know what you're going through. So thank you for your service to this county, both of you. And that's why I brought your flower.
Yeah. We're terrible, right?
I just want to thank you all. This has been a learning experience for me and one that I really will. I hope plus some art because I came in brand new as well as a board member. And, like I said, it was a learning experience. And I like the way that we disagreed, but we were respectful in how we did that. And we were just learning that, as a board member, you don't speak because you want to speak. We do have a board chair and we have a director, so we respect those positions. And I am going to pray for each person who is appointed to the board that they will be able to serve our community and take their self out of it and do it with the reason they were put on board, do it for that particular reason, that we're serving all of the people in the community, regardless of our personal. We have our personal thoughts and concerns, but as a board member, I learned that we take that away and we look at what's best for the community. And sometimes, You could be a friend with somebody, Michelle and I may be friends, but we may disagree. And we may voice our opinion, but when we finish on the board for that discussion, we are all as a board connected, and we are respecting what we're doing and putting that out there. And, thanks to each of you, but thank you so much, Michelle. I'm gonna take you something.
Then I'll tell you how to take care of it later.
Thank you so much, I appreciate that, and thank you all so much for this year, what you all hearing.
Well, as Andy stated, this is our last meeting. I have been a part of this board for, I think, a little over 8 years. Came in under Carolyn, hired Emma and Troy, and then we hired Janae and
It's a shame,
Stas.
that
I did not want to leave. And I think each time we tried to make sure that we did what was best for the county and making sure that we found people that were dedicated to what is going on and learning the job as you go. Because Emma came in, she had to learn the job running as well. Janae, she came in a different light. It was hard for her to, but the transition has been well. She had a lot of support, and that's what I'm most thankful for, that the county, the state came and rallied and made sure that our election was done the way it was supposed to be done. I've learned a lot being in this position. I try to make sure that what I did represented the people of Pasquotank County, not a party, but the people of Pasquotank County. And I thank God that we made it. We did a good job. And none of this would have been done without board members that were dedicated to the cause. And I think each of you, even the ones that were on the board, Deborah is here today. We thank her. We had a lot of challenges and did a lot of crying, and but we made it. And Larry, he sent me a text this morning, and I was thankful to receive that. And that's what I'm saying. We were on the board. We became like a connected family, and caring about one another. People had family issues, sicknesses, and things, and Larry cooked. We prayed for him, and God bless his soul. He went on, but we were connected. We were connected, and so I just pray that the next board that is seated, remember that the reason that you are behind these desks, this desk, or any of these desks, that you know that you're doing it for the people of Pasquotank County, not for self gratification, not for public party connections or any of that, but you're doing it for the right reason. And you always have a fair election, but make sure that you stand with the people that are running the office with us. We don't micromanage them. They might need some guidance from us, but we're hoping that we have people in place that know their job and can do their job to the best of their ability. I thank this county for allowing me to serve.
You skipped over me.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
go
I'm
first.
sorry.
Again.
I'm sorry. No, George.
I want to speak for Larry today.
Now, George was sitting on this side,
Will you call me
and
Larry?
I called him Larry, because Larry Cook sat on that side. Larry was sitting on this side, and I called him George. But anyway, that's fine. It's just, that's fun. That's fun.
And I want to talk about my appreciation for the board, for you. You had a rough job during that general election, presidential election. I'll never look back.
You see this man?
That's right. And like you said, we're here to represent all the people, but we may have different viewpoints, which came out on the board. and, work through it. And, I just wanna, that's all I wanna say, is how much I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And Annie, that, like she said, about the job there, you say.
Yes. Well, obviously I haven't been on the board very long. But I feel like I got to know y'all from the other side of the coin. And I'm on the opposite side of the coin. So it's been an honor to get to know y'all and to work in elections with you all. It really has, and I appreciate all of that. And I appreciate your welcoming spirit for me on the board here. I appreciate the guidance in that. I feel like I'm new, just like our director and deputy, they're new, and I'm coming up underneath of them. And, so I appreciate them as well. I appreciate Janae's spirit. You know, I will speak to something that I saw Janae do, and if I can. I was observing, and I've been an observer in our elections since October of 2022. And there's two things that I noticed that were different about Janae. And that was before we started early voting in the morning, even with all that was on her plate, Janae took the time to come into early voting and encourage our poll workers and kind of give them a rallying cry, you know, and stepping up and helping them know what they were there for and helping them know that she was there for them. And it wasn't just in speech that Janae did that. I noticed that during early voting, somebody came out, you know, we have the food that comes out in early voting. Someone came out and, you know, had some food, and Janae took the time to go over and she took orders of our poll workers, found out what it was that they would like to eat, and then went over to the food and got those orders ready for them. You know, that's not something that, I mean, I'm not dissing our previous director or staff at all. And they just didn't have the time to do it, but that's something that I noticed that Janae brought to the table in that, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate it a lot. Because like I said earlier, the poll workers, gosh, they work so hard. They work so hard. And I think that that's, you know, that's supported. I've seen that has been supported by all members of this board. That all members of this board have always believed that our poll workers work very hard and that we have a lot of respect for that. And I appreciate that from all of you, that you have that respect for the community. And so I just wanted to say, and I appreciate the respect from our director. And I don't know Mr. Ashman very well, but I assume I'll see that same level of respect from him too. Because I think that's something that goes through this office, is the respect for our community. So, and thank you, Ms. Jackie, for working with me as a party chair. Well, first it's just a volunteer, and then as a party chair, and now as a board member. Appreciate that. Appreciate all of them.
We're going to move forward. Before we go into closed session, point of privilege, is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak now? I felt like you would. Okay, we will take it one at a time.
Good morning. I'm saying this is my first time here. I'm glad that I was able to come and see just what goes on behind closed door.
One of our poll workers.
I've been working the polls, I think about 10 years. I retired from ECSU in 2007. Oh, my name is Ruth Lewis. Well, you say that, but I'm a veteran of the United States Army. And I'm just glad to be here to see how the business is carried on. And like I said, I've been working for over 10 years. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to keep it up. But I thank you all also, and whoever approved, the board that approved the raise for us, but it wasn't about the money. I just want you all to know that I'm not here for the money. I'm just here to be represented
Right.
and to be a part of the democratic process. So, this is my first time, maybe it won't be my last time, but, just to see how things are done. I applaud y'all for your hard work, because I know that it's a whole lot of hard work going on behind these doors in order for things to come out right.
Before Deborah gets up, I do want to say, as a board, even though you didn't see us out there, because it was not wise for us to go, because as a board, if something went down out there, it had to come in for a hearing, we couldn't hear the case if we were there in the place. So we had to remain outside of that realm and make sure that the board, the director, the deputy, and all of the poll workers were doing what they were supposed to do. In case there was a problem that came back to us, we could hear the case and rule on it the way that we were supposed to. And that's so important to make sure that, you know, it's a lot of responsibility being on the board. It's not just sitting in this meeting, it's a lot of responsibility. And we all need to make sure that we continue to take it seriously. Because the fight is just beginning with the way that this country is moving. And my tenure is up, and so you probably will be seeing me sitting in the seat sometime out here. And I might even be a poll worker, who knows? I don't know yet, but what, depends on my husband's situation and the time that I might have. But I plan to be present. I heard that from someone. I might be away from the position, but I still plan to be present. Ms. Hurd?
Hey, just want to thank Jackie for all that you've done in those 8+ years that you've been on board. I know personally, you are family. I went through some health issues. We went through Larry. We had a lot of challenges besides those things. And you were always up and up, doing the right thing. Your heart always in the right place from a personal standpoint and for the people of Pasquotank County. Thank you for all your leadership. Life lessons I will never forget. Addie, likewise, family. We get that way when we share and a laugh or a tear. And it's a special relationship. Thank you for all your hard work. And you know, I'm not going to do anything I hope.
I'm Frank Atkinson, and I'm new to this job that I've taken on in Elizabeth City. I want to thank all of you guys. I have to tell you, I'm a neophyte at almost all of this stuff, so I am learning continuously about how important the things that you guys are doing are and how important it is in our country, as we say in Pledge of Allegiance, indivisible, delivering justice for all. So I appreciate that very much. I also like to listen in to what you're saying and try to pay attention. One of the comments that you guys were talking about was, for example, the students and addressing the students and the cost of addressing the students. There are all kinds of privacy issues about who is allowed to know what about some other person in our society, especially since we're dealing with people that are sometimes minors and sometimes adults also. But my comment that I can make is I don't know whether you need to go through the school system and they do a sending, or you're able to get information from the school system. I don't know which.
We tried, they didn't have any.
Well, but the question is, will they work with you? Because all the schools, listen, I'm from Northern Virginia, so sometimes it's a little bit different than it's here. But they have, up in Northern Virginia, either each student all have emails that are either the school given or they turn their emails in because the parents are also to be notified when somebody's at the school or whatever the case might be. But if the school system can't get you that information, they should have that information on their rolls, and they should be able to send out on our nation's behalf, multiple invitations to get people involved in our society and to get on the voter registration polls. Anyway, not much more than that, but thank you guys for all your service, all of you. Sincerely.
Now, I printed out a whole bunch of interest letters. So if you all know of somebody that would like to be interested, so when we create this list to give to the party chairs of who may want to work, we printed a whole bunch of them here in the office, so.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Just to kind of bring it back together with the students and the registration, it wasn't a formal registration drive. Talking to, I cannot remember his last name, Dr. Boykins. It was just, part of their weekly class assignment, with the civics class.
It was a civics class.
Yeah, when we arrived in Northeastern, quite a few of the students, I was shocked. The level of information that they had done the research and given their presentations as individuals, it was amazing. I was pleasantly surprised. But it wasn't a formal thing at all. I think it's something that he wanted to add on as a caveat to the end. Hey, if you graduated, and this probably is a concept that we've been trying to work on too, to try to get into the school systems and even to the city state, to give our portion of information to them like the correct way.
Right.
So that's what that was. It was absolutely informal.
Okay.
The last one.
But you did a service. You service, you met a need that they had, and we thank you for doing that. And that's what it's all about, taking the time to make sure that you are there when groups call you out for meetings. If you can put it in your schedule to do it, because the more they know the correct information, the better it will be for elections and anything else in life. So, you are the information source, so we're glad that they're utilizing it. At this time, we motion to go into closed session. We thank you for coming, but I do need to see you before you leave. Yes. But motion to go into closed session.
I'll make a motion to go. It's to close session. So we're not.
I have you read.
Okay, I'm sorry, a motion to go into closed session pursuant to 143-318.11A6.
Okay.
And we have a motion of 5-minute recess before the closed session.
With a 5-minute recess.
Thank
Can we get through the door?
Okay, okay, second. I get a second. You second?
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is you second that we're going to closed session, and a 5-minute recess. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. So we should be back here by 10:21 for a closed session.
Did you see the date of this?